Who that dropped that again? Who that dropped that again? You can tell by the way they dress on the latest trend. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in. Have them chop your dread, let that sink in. With that Lamborghini, the two-seater like I drag. I can put some Poochie on her coochie, yeah, I'm nasty. I been giving them love on my career, this shit I'm texting. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in. Have him chop your dread, let that sink in. 10 million on the check, all I need is a pen. Nigga, I better get rest, have my patience thin. You can tell by the way they dress on the latest trend. Don't care she pretty in the face, that shit don't make her 10. When you built off faith, this shit don't break a bend. Know this shit be fake, you still gon' take a chance. Bet they let me cook with a pots and pan. We coming in second quarter, I'm about to hit the gas. I been keep shit cordial, I be bout to crash. 24-inch forges on a black sedan. From shopping on Mr. Porter, now go shop in France. 101 jeans from Gucci, these ain't Dapper Dan. Let these niggas be goofy, I got a master plan. Got my feet kicked up, I'm kicking like Jackie Chan. 1500 or nothing, I got a pack from rents. Connects cross the border that I can call on hand. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in. Have him chop your dread, let that sink in. 10 million on the check, all I need is a pen. Nigga, I better get rest, have my patience thin. You can tell by the way they dress on the latest trend. Don't care she pretty in the face, that shit don't make her 10. When you built off faith, this shit don't break a bend. In my life like a movie, how I do it, you can imagine. I spent trip this winter in the jacuzzi in the cabins. Got me a brand new Minkus made by Louis, screaming fashion. 4G auto, these ain't Davins. Pulling off in the Spider with the top off, I like that one. Like I'm choosing the cipher about that paper, I'm gon' tax them. Care if you niggas don't like it, you gon' face me on the last one. With that Lamborghini, the two-seater like I drag. I can put some Poochie on her coochie, yeah, I'm nasty. I been giving them love on my career, this shit I'm texting. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in. Have him chop your dread, let that sink in. 10 million on the check, all I need is a pen. I prayed for this shit. Rolling handmade, it's from Swiss. What's on my plate? Steak of fish. At the round table, it's a big dish. Niggas ain't able, ain't on the list. Hermes Gator, my name on the list. Go AP, it's the same color Chris. Don't play with my name. 25, 26, Range Rover, back to back, I'm out of your range. Working, I be trying to get back, plus more these niggas can't feel my pain. Caught in this shit, ain't no stopping it, I can't even tell you what's in my brain. Got my own style and no copying, and you can tell it just ain't a phase. I grew up with niggas that hustle, they came up from nothing that won my age. Southside, I came from the dirty, this shit, they get ugly in many ways. Won't start cut up my hoodie, these niggas will put on anything. And it ain't nothing left to it, I know how to do it, cause I was made for this shit. Nigga, I prayed for this shit. Rolling handmade, it's from Swiss. What's on my plate? Steak of fish. At the round table, it's a big dish. Niggas ain't able, ain't on the list. Hermes Gator, my name on the list. Go AP, it's the same color Chris. Don't play with my name, play with it. Young gon' wanna buy back these 900 racks that build my stage. Black bulletproof Cadillac with a bed in the back, I been rolling for days. Ain't really cool with your cats, I call it sweat spade, that's way for fame. Niggas better act they wage. Running for a nigga like Sage. Baby girl doing everything I want, you would've thought I had a train. The way I'm stretched out, how it ain't no way, I ain't no trainer. Hopping out the Roberto, let them wave and see my game. Stacking this shit up plural, you gon' know that I was made for this shit. Nigga, I prayed for this shit. Rolling handmade, it's a Swiss. Rest on my plate, steak of fish. At the round table, it's a big dish. Niggas ain't able, ain't on the list. Hermes Gator, my name on the list. Go AP.
Yo, mic check, mic check. How we feeling today, guys? How we feeling in the building today, man? Let me see who's in the room today, man. Who's feeling excited today about the stock class? You know, we had a really, really good intro into the building. How's everybody feeling today? Matter of fact, let me get everybody started with, first of all, where's everybody from? Post your city and state. Let me see where y'all are located today in the building. Let me see where everybody's from today, man. Get today's class started. What's going on? We got like 30 people in the house today. Y'all welcome to today. This is called Stock Sunday session. So in today's class, I want to really break down step by step. First of all, how did we do in the stock market this past week? Number two, what are the top companies that you should be watching this week in the stock market? Number three, if I was a beginner and I don't know where to start, how can I get started from A to Z, step by step, from a beginner's perspective? And we're going to get into everything today, man. So I'm going to quickly see where everybody's from. I see some Chicago's in the chat, Detroit, Atlanta, Houston, another Chicago, Trenton, New Jersey. Okay, y'all. Okay. We see we're global. Let me see where else. New York. Yeah, we live here on multiple different platforms right here. Okay. I see a lot of people all across the world. We love to see it. So let's go ahead and jump into, guys, what exactly we're looking at for the week. And, you know, I don't want to waste you guys no time. What's up, Sydney? Jay Black. And if y'all are inside the mentorship, put a me in the chat. You know, I want to see who's in the chat, who's ready, you know, in the mentorship. Let me see y'all put some me's in the chats. All right. Without further ado, let's jump right into everything, right? So first and foremost, let me share my screen. Okay, so if this is your first time joining one of our classes, put a 1 in the chat. You know, I want to see who, this is your first time coming to see a stock class from us. Go ahead and put a 1 into the chat right quick. She said, feeling amazing, cool. Well, first and foremost, guys, this is going to be a very important cycle of the market to be aware of, right? So we're going to start from the very top and we're going to go down to the very bottom, right? So the first things first, before you start trading for the week, guys, you should always check out this website right here called forexfactory.com. Basically, you can see all the news events happening for the week. There's nothing really crazy going on here. Monday's going to be a dry day. Tuesday, pretty dry. Wednesday, we do have FOMC. So if you're trading, guys, make sure you understand on Wednesday, this is a big day because it's a red folder news event right here where we can see a lot of news impacting the stock market world. So be on lookout for FOMC on Wednesday, right? Nothing really else going on for the week. Got PMI on Thursday, Friday, Powell speaks, you know, so we have a couple things going on right now. So I see a lot of ones in the chat. I love to see it. And if y'all are in this room right now and you're ready to take in this free game, go ahead and smash the like button for us. That's all we ask for, right? We want to see you guys continue to support the content. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat already into the mentorship. Welcome, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into what we're looking at for the week. So first and foremost, let's begin with what company are we watching first? If you guys are invested in crypto or you have any knowledge of crypto, go ahead and put a me in the chat. Put a me in the chat because cryptocurrency, guys, is taking this world by the neck right now, right? Ethereum, one of the biggest crypto coins in the crypto world, has just hit all-time highs recently. We peaked right here at about 4.8K, and I'm a pretty large holder of Ethereum. However, we did sell in time before this drop did happen in price. How can we fact check that? Let's actually go over to the premium side of the band's chat, and we're going to go over to our long-term watch list, all right? So, guys, this is point blank proof, guys. If you're in the right type of chat, the right community, you could change everything for yourself. Last year, in the summer, I told my whole chat, hey, I'm buying Ethereum every single day or every other day, every single week. And I said, hey, we will be hitting $4,000 per coin soon, so buy, not financial advice, right? Back here in June, guys, when Ethereum was in this range, let me show you guys the beautiful thing about investing. All right, so when Ethereum was in this range, guys, and we're buying, Ethereum was here near about 3,000 and dipped down here to about 2.2 thousand. Aggressive buys. We're buying pretty much aggressively all through this little range right here, right? And then we went up, and then we dipped again. People were pretty much nervous. No, we kept on buying, and now we officially have cleared official all-time highs here of Ethereum. Now, that's not just the impressive part, right? We also took profits on Ethereum about 3 days ago at a really significant high point, and we're actually going to be calling in another buy-in, right? Opportunity for you to actually invest into Ethereum whenever the time is right, again, inside of the band's chat. So if you see the link pinned inside of the description or in the comments, you could apply for our program right then and there. But let's get into the next portion of today's class. All right, that's crypto right there. We just covered that. Let's go look at the stock market right now, right? What's the stock market looking like? Let's check it out, guys. Check this out. So another thing, guys, SPY, QQQ, everything, IWM, we've also seen a lot more all-time highs here on these companies, right? So if you're a beginner right now, right, step one, this application is called tradingview.com. So TradingView is the website to learn and master reading chart patterns, and you're going to need to master this to become a full-time trader, right? So first things first, also, what are my credentials? Like, what kind of makes me able to speak about, what we're talking about today? Well, I did have a little tough week, this week. I'll be honest with you. I did take 2 red days, but so far for this month here of August, right now, I'm up close to 15 grand for August. I had a red day on Friday. I know it sucked. And on Wednesday, these are 2 pretty poor days. I'm going to watch my language. We're on YouTube. It's PG friendly. But, besides my money that I make it, we have students who are in our chat who are going crazy. All right. I'm talking about people making 1,000 in a day pretty easily. 1,000 right there. Right there is 245, 930, 1,000, 1.1K, 100+%. All right, $300. So people are making money all over our chat day by day, right? And if you don't know who we are yet, we actually do a live trading session every single day inside of our Discord. So it's a screen shared voice call, and everybody's able to basically be there, communicate, talk about what the trades they're in for the day, right? Talk about what they're hitting, what they lost on, right? We can talk about life, but this is one of the benefits of being inside of the program for the mentorship. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about what is SPY doing, y'all? Like, what should we look at for SPY right now? Because right now, guys, SPY is sitting at all-time highs. So you're probably like, Ryan, how in the world could we play SPY right now? Like, how could we look at the market when we're at all-time highs? Well, this is what you want to go ahead and do. So step one, if you are inside of this call right now, guys, and you have your notes ready, you should have your notes ready right now. We're going to speak about the top 3 stocks that I'm looking at for the week, right? So we're going to be in, before we get into SPY, we're going to get directly into AMD. All right, so if you're familiar with the stock market world, you're familiar that AMD is a very, very volatile company, right? However, this company has actually been in a little bit of a pennant pattern right here on my 1-hour chart. And if you want to see what a bullish pennant pattern looks like, this is exactly what it's looking like. All right, you're creating basically a little bit of a pennant, and this range is squeezing. It's getting tighter, and essentially it's setting up for a move back to the upside. And this is what AMD is creating here in the high time frame analysis, right? So what I'm looking at this week, I want to see if we can get a squeeze above this line right here. I'm going to mark it here with my tool so you can properly see the top of this line. But I want to see AMD make a closure on the 1-hour candlestick chart above this area on my chart. And if we see that, not only do I want to see this thing actually close above here, but guys, check this out. If you go to your 4-hour chart, AMD previously had some all-time highs sitting right here, right? So this is where we originally peaked out here on AMD, right? And we actually tried to close above that same all-time high right there, right? We tried, but we failed on the 4-hour chart, right? However, on the 1-hour chart, as you can see right here, we tried again and we failed. So what is that saying? There's a lot of sellers that were sitting right up here in price on AMD, waiting for people to basically get faked out for the market to actually drop back to the downside, right? So now, the thing about it is, guys, I write this down. The market makers, they love to sweep liquidity. The market makers love to sweep liquidity. So what does that mean? Significant highs like this on AMD, all-time highs, the market makers, they love to take these areas out in price. And as you can see right here, we just now took this high out here on AMD, right? So now you may think, what does that kind of mean for me? Well, think about this, right? The market could not close above this high. All we did was create a wick right here. So this retracing right here, in my opinion, I feel like this is setting up for us as traders that the market actually wants to make a strong movement to finally close above this high so they can properly sweep liquidity. Now, the fact that AMD has seen a significant retracement, right? We cleared above this range right here. I'm going to draw it for you guys. We had like a little range right there being created, like a little like sideways line right here, like a little trend line being created. We closed through that trend line, created a brand new trend right here. Because originally we had seen a strong lower low right here on AMD. We've seen a lower high up here. Right, and then now we've seen again. We're trying to consistently like make a strong move to the upside, but AMD just continues to break out this trend line. We have a strong push up here on this company, but now we just now had a really strong week where we had a strong retracement here on AMD all the way to the bottom here of this range. All right, so I was looking at my 4-hour fair value gap here on AMD, and I did notice that we did get really close to a significant area in price, but specifically, guys, if you are understanding of how to find your daily bias, which is like one of the most important things to focus on in the stock market, you need to understand, guys, that this area on AMD, 175, is my area of interest. So I'm gonna write that down, guys. AMD, so a psychological level is what I'm looking at for AMD this week, which is at 175. So a psychological level in the stock market is any number on the stock market that ends with a 0 or ends with a 5. The big banks, the hedge funds, they want to always take trades off these even numbers, so should you. So right now, we made a pretty strong retracement down here on AMD to the downside, but I do want to see this tank a little bit further, and I'm looking at bias, guys, somewhere in this area on AMD. I'm going to mark it for you guys. Basically right here under these previous highs, I'm looking for buys somewhere down here. I'm going to mark it here in green so you can actually notate that on your own charts. So this is near the $175 price point. Write that down, guys. I'm looking at AMD for a bounce. AMD 175 bounce. Free game. That's the first play of the day. Number 2, how many of y'all like buying puts? Matter of fact, before I get into this next play today, I want to do a quick little rain check in the chat. Quick little rain check. So if you're on this call today and you have like literally 0 experience from trading, you're just starting today, or maybe you're brand new, go ahead and put a 1 into the chat. And if you have some experience already, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see where everybody is, and then we'll continue to get today's class in motion because, we want to be engaging. We want to talk to everybody here. Nobody here gets left behind. We all deserve to get knowledge from this market, right? We all deserve that. And we basically make sure, like, especially going into like the school year, people going to school right now, it's important to be able to master and have multiple streams of income going into your school year. So you don't have to juggle with 2-3 jobs and juggle school and juggle life, So this is why we're doing these classes here on Sunday. All right, I see 1s, I see 2s in chat. Okay, I see variety. Okay, got you. 2s and 1s. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about, guys, market structure. And I have a full video on my YouTube. If you go to my channel, you can actually see like, my full, course for free on market structure on my page. But essentially, guys, there are only 2 different markets in the stock market, right? You have a bullish market, you have a bearish market. So a bullish market, you're seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You're basically getting higher in price consistently with small moves to the downside. Vice versa, in a bearish market, you're seeing 2 things: lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. You're moving to the downside consistently with short-term moves to the upside, right? Now, what we're about to cover right now in real time is the change of character. This strategy right here, guys, is going to make a lot of people a lot of money this week, depending on how the market's moving. Because a change of character is basically saying, hey, we're changing characters from being in a bearish market into a bullish market, or a bullish market into a bearish market. So how does that work? Right here, I have a lower high right. I mean a lower low right there, a lower high, lower low. Then right here, boom, you created a brand new higher high right there. And basically taking out this previous lower high and creating a brand new change of character. Now we're going from the downside to going back to the upside. All right. So after you find a change of character, the rule of thumb is you want to always wait for a pullback to a significant area in price so you can actually gauge if the market is respecting your change of character or if it's not. For example, right here, we have an uptrend here on this company, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, boom. You break the trend line, have a retracement right here, and you head more to the downside. Now, why is this so important today? Let's talk about it. Well, look at PLTR, guys. Check this out. Verbatim. Look at this. So here on PLTR, this is actually, guys, looking at their financials, and I'm just gonna drop a little bit of free game. I don't want to hold you here too long, so like, I'm gonna just do a little free game. So if you go to this website right here called finbiz.com, you can actually research, first of all, what's the heat map for the stock market world. Basically, like, what are all the stocks doing in the whole stock market exchange? As you see, PLTR is right here in bold red, and we're gonna talk about it today. All right. You can also type them in right here and then research them on their balance sheet. You can see the year over year profit margins. You can see their gross margin returns. You can see what's happening on their debt to equity ratio. You can see the inside of a company and see if it's a profitable company or if it's not a profitable company. This company, however, guys, PLTR is actually an unprofitable company at the moment, and we'll probably talk about that in the week in the mentorship. I don't want to make this class too long, but this company, guys, has basically seen a strong trend to the upside originally. We've seen a higher high right there, higher low, higher high right there, higher low, higher high right there, right? And you would assume, because we're in a bullish market, we're trying to create a brand new higher high, right? No, sirski. This right here is my higher low, right? As you can see, we just now took out the higher low exactly right here. You see that? So we just took out my higher low. That means that we're trying to create this change of character on PLTR in a high time frame. So why is this even important? Like, how can I make money off this move? Let's talk about it. In the stock market world, you can make money regardless, regardless if you go into the upside or if you go into the downside. So you make money on the downside by buying what we call is puts. So PLTR has already made like a strong move to the downside here on Thursday and into Friday. And we created a really, really clear fair value gap right here in my 4-hour chart. If you don't know what a fair value gap is, it's basically a 3-candle sequence with an expansive middle candlestick like this one right here. And you're just basically drawing the gap between the wicks of candle 1 right there to candle number 3 right there. This is going to be called my fair value gap. All right. So now after you've drawn this fair value gap here, what does this actually mean for me as an investor? That means that the market is creating imbalances. The market's basically creating displacement into an area of interest, right? So because we were previously in a bullish market, and now we're creating a change of character right here on PLTR and a FEG in this market, it's a strong indication that, hey, we might be heading more to the downside. But before you head to the downside, the market tends to have to make a little bit of a retracement, right? Exactly. So this week, what are we watching, guys? Let me keep my volume down. I'm a little hype. We live trade every single day, so I look forward to it. This week, guys, I'm actually looking for PLTR to make a retracement back to the 180 psychological area. So, guys, 180 is sitting exactly about right here on my fair value gap. It's sitting right up here in this area. And I'm going to shade it here on purple so you could probably see it better. But I'm looking for AMD. I'm looking for PLTR to make a movement to around 180, and I want to see PLTR basically make a move to the upside first in green, and make a move back to the downside here in red. And I want to call out some puts on this in the live chat. So if you're not in the room, go tap on the pinned, comment in the comment section. You could apply for the mentorship and see what we got going. But this here, guys, I'm looking for PLTR. I'm looking for a so PLTR rejection at 180. And y'all should be writing this down. This is free game. I do a stock watch list every single week. I don't always publicize it because, not everybody takes free information serious. But, I want to share with you guys what I'm looking at for the week in advance so you're able to be prepared. So we covered AMD. We covered PLTR. let's now talk about SPY. So SPY, guys, this guys, S&P 500 is like the mother of the stock market. How I think about the S&P 500, I think about the S&P 500 like the police, right? Let's say if this was the purge is going on, right? All crime is legal for 24 hours, right? That should be kind of scary. But let's say that's the case, right? Obviously, the U.S. is not about to allow that, right? So let's say somebody started to just cause a trend that the purge is happening tomorrow. The police is going to come through and stop the purge, right? Because they got power, right? S&P 500 is also the police in the stock market. Why? It's a basket of the top 500 most popular companies, right? So what you can go ahead and do is I'll go on Google and type in SPY holdings. So what you see here with the SPY holdings, you basically want to see like what companies the SPY actually hold. And some of the top investments is going to be NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta. These are some of the main companies that we trade every single day inside of the chat. So it's important to understand where SPY is going and where it's at, so you're able to also trade these smaller companies in a much more better frequency. Because as SPY moves up in price, you best believe other companies are going to also move up in price, right? They're going to follow behind suit because you know why? They are a big portion of the S&P 500. So SPY, we just now made another all-time high here on SPY. We pushed up here to about 647, and we've seen a rejection, right? Unfortunately, guys, SPY right now, because we're at an all-time high, we're kind of ranging right here. All right, we're kind of ranging right here. If you're a trader right now and you've been trading for a little bit of time, take my advice lightly right here or take it strongly. I personally feel like until we can break out of this range right here that we're creating here on the 4-hour chart, I think it's best to trade very lightly on your positions until you have more confidence in where the market's truly going to. Just because we broke out these all-time highs right here, it's a possibility we could come back down to basically sweep all this liquidity right here that's basically was unfulfilled, which is sitting right here. Or we could potentially just like keep chopping and ranging here. Or scenario number 3, we could go up and down and we can go up in price again, right? But write down, guys, that whenever you're at an uncharted territory, it's a riskier investment and a riskier like return on investment for you as a trader, because we're kind of in uncharted territories that we've never ever been before. And put a 1 in the chat, guys, if that makes sense, about where we are in the market on SPY, right? Because you're in an area where you've never really seen before, so you don't want to just try to predict the market. You want to give the market some time. All right. Next setup, guys, is on IWM. This is also another fan favorite in the chat. I actually made a few grand on this company this week, so you know I've been waiting. I've been waiting to talk about IWM. I'm hungry. I'm just playing. So look at this. So with IWM, guys, we recently made a break above this high right here from the 23rd here of July. So we smacked this all-time high here again, also on IWM. All these companies are seeing all-time highs. However, IWM is a different setup than all these other ETFs, in my opinion. Why do I say that? Look at this. IWM took out this all-time high right here, and then we had a retracing back to it again. We bounced originally, we pulled back one more time, and now we're kind of seeing the market hold right here a little bit. But the fact that this all-time high level is holding on IWM, I personally do feel like this market might try to create some more like manipulation. But I'm noticing here again on my 1-hour chart, we're beginning to build a little bit again, another setup right here on IWM. We're building another setup, guys. We're creating consistent lower highs right there, but we're creating equal lows right here. So it's only a matter of time if we're creating lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, equal lows. We're either going to be squeezing to the upside or making a strong squeeze back to the downside. My guess is, depending on the overall cycle of the market and how news does come around on Wednesday, will determine a big portion of how this stock will move for the day. Now, another important factor of the market that people forget sometimes is very impactful. Let's talk about earnings, guys. Let's talk about earnings. So, guys, earnings is basically a mandatory filing that a stock company has to report every single quarter. So basically reporting if you're profitable, how much you made for the quarter, how much you lost for the quarter, right? And y'all let me know if my mic audio is loud or if it's quiet, because I have absolutely no clue. We're just raw dogging it today, and I know it's gonna work, right? So boom. What companies is there to actually watch for earnings this week? So my first call out for the week, guys, and quick disclaimer, guys, earnings is not, how can I say it? Earnings is a riskier investment, right? It's kind of like a high risk, high reward scenario, right? For example, just for context, just so you can kind of see like, what to expect, like, what kind of we do for earnings, right? So let's talk about it. So basically, earnings is going to be one of these things that cause massive moves in the stock market world, right? So I definitely took an earnings play the other day. I honestly forget where it is, but I think I made like $3,000 on it, $4,000 on it. I didn't risk much to make this money. All right, and then also Roblox. I put 370 in this play. I put 370 on this play to basically make $1,200 on this play, right? That's a massive return. 225% on the return, right? So earnings is an asset class where it's kind of like a riskier way to make some money, right? It's risky, obviously. However, if you know what you're looking for, it's a good risk that you can play the correct way, which is called a hedge. That's a whole nother conversation, right? So boom. Companies I'm watching for earnings this week. I will be watching Zoom this quarter for puts. I think Zoom will actually miss their earnings report, and I'm going to show you guys the chart here in 1 second. So I'm watching Zoom for earnings, and I'm watching Target for calls. These are the two looks. Home Depot, it could make a movement, but I wouldn't trade Home Depot in my opinion. All I'm watching is Zoom, and I'm watching Target. Pan W is probably making a pretty nasty move to the upside, so keep that on a runner up watch. But I would say keep Zoom on your top watches, and remember who put you on first. I'll just say that, right? So this right here, guys, is the stock chart here for Zoom. As you've been seeing, the stock has been struggling for a little bit of time. When COVID first dropped, guys, and everybody went to online services, what happened? Zoom peaked out at over $580 per share. $580. That's insane. Now we're all the way back down here to $70. Now, I personally feel like even though we're, it's pretty, discounted right now, seeing all-time highs, I do feel like the company structure right now, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I got to double check my data before I make, a big claim. And, I'm going to call out the plays, obviously, for the people in the chat, in the premium chat. However, we have just been ranging. I mean, like, Zoom just could not catch a break. Let's look at this. The past, since May, this thing cannot make a brand new higher high, nothing. We've just been continuously dropping, dipping, dip, lean, swag, dip, lean, yeah, all that. They've just been literally dropping, guys, consistently here on Zoom. Now, I feel like before we can see a move back to the upside, I personally feel like Zoom does want to come and sweep this liquidity down here near about $66 per share. After that happens, I believe we can finally see some upside momentum here on Zoom. The only thing that I do want to say is that we did sweep the liquidity right here at this low portion on Zoom recently that was sitting here at about $72 per share. Right? So what I'm kind of saying is, and someone asked me, Home Depot, what am I looking at? Let me show you some. And also, guys, if y'all have any questions, guys, go ahead and drop your questions into the chat. We'll go ahead and answer some questions throughout the Zoom call. I said Zoom call. Where's my mind? We're on YouTube Live. All right, so for Home Depot, first of all, in my opinion, bro, if you want me to be honest, I wouldn't take a earnings play on Home Depot. And I'm telling you this because I care about you, bro. Mr. Rise, I want to see you win. I want to see you shine, bro. But let me tell you something, right? Home Depot is basically, they're really known for doing what we call is IV crushing. So IV crushing is basically when a stock company for earnings, they make a very lackluster move, a very minuscule move. It doesn't really make a move like that. And what happens is both of the contracts on the calls and put sides both evaporate. So you're damn near guaranteed to lose money on an earnings play like Home Depot, in my opinion. So my best advice for you, bro, is to skip the earnings on Home Depot and play the post earnings. That's what we're doing in the bands chat this week. We're going to be playing the post earnings on a lot of these companies. And that's a strategy that a lot of people undermine, and they don't understand it's very, like, it's crazy profitable, right? We were talking about this like about 2 weeks ago in our classes. You know, if you don't know, you know, all the classes that we do. So we do a live trading class every weekday. We do 2 educational classes every single week. And then if you miss these classes, we actually post all the recordings inside of the chat, so you're able to actually watch it properly and, you know, catch up on all the game that you actually missed if you missed the class session. And for our program for the mentorship, I know some of y'all are asking, and, you know, the link is pinned into the description. You're going to begin first with the beginners week, right? So we're going to focus on live account setups, getting everything started, like taking your first steps, taking your first trades. Then when you get more into options trading, you know, how to actually use the brokerage account, how to use TradingView, how to chart, how to set up a plan, right? How to have proper risk management and money management. And throughout this whole process, you're doing what we call as paper trading. So basically trading with fake money first until you get the hang of the market. And after you have the strategies, you're confident, you actually know what you're doing, boom, then we put the money into our account. Put 1,000, put 500, whatever's in your range, and then you begin to grow it from there. All right. And the very last thing in the last stock, because I don't want to hold y'all here too long, real quick, you know, I want to put y'all on some game. You know, I know some of y'all are probably like, man, Ryan, you talking so a lot, bro. I'm ready for live trading. Like, trust me, bro. We all ready tomorrow. We ready. All right, guys, look at this. This is the next trade I have on watch, guys, for the week. So this trade is going to be on Tesla. Tesla. Guys, someone put a Tesla in the chat. Someone put Tesla in the chat. I'm posting a day in the life here on my YouTube like tomorrow. And I made like 3K on Tesla in a day on vacation. For some reason, I don't know why, but Tesla just seems to be the stock on vacation to trade. They just know what to do. They know what to do. I appreciate you, Ryan, for looking out. Most definitely, bro. You know, I want everybody to eat. This is the time for people that actually are serious and you have a job. Let's say if you have a job. Let's talk about this before I go into the next talk, right? Boom. Let's say like you have a job right now. You have a busy schedule right now. You know, you kind of trying to figure out like, how can I make more money but still have my time freedom? How can I make more money without having to sacrifice more time? How can I make more money without having to wake up in the morning, run somewhere and be somewhere where I don't want to be at? And that's going to come from exchanging your money for money. So there's 3 different wealth classes, and there's 3 different ways to make money. You have the active income, you have passive income, and you have semi-passive income, right? So trading is not passive income. The 15K that I made this month is not passive income. Passive income is saying that I made that stuff with my eyes closed. No, I'm buying and selling. You're buying and selling. That's called semi-passive income. So your job right now is active income. And that's amazing to have. Keep your jobs. Matter of fact, get 1 to 2 if you need to. You know, get multiple active streams of income, right? But after you make enough money, start putting that money from your job income directly into ways you can make money passively. Open a high yield savings account. Open a Roth IRA. Open up an investing account, right? Put some money into your day trading account. Put some money into your long-term account, right? Focus on living below your means right now this year. We could just chill right now, we'll ball later, right? If you stack right now, you will ball later. You chill this fall, you gonna ball when it's chilly in December and in January, and then you go ball in the summertime, right? A lot of people that made the mistake of hopping on Instagram, hopping on TikTok, seeing people buying their dream cars, dream houses. They start like following the lifestyle. They start just buying things, and that's the easiest way to go broke, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you focus on day trading and investing, you could basically grow all of this money that you're using on all of these liabilities. And after you made so much money with the liabilities, boom, you could then reinvest now into, you know, other things that you want that make you feel happy. And that's why I love trading, guys. I don't have to be anywhere I don't want to be. I'm literally in my pajama shoes right now, and I wear these every single morning, and it's allowing me to make 5 figures plus a month. All right. So now let's kind of go on with Tesla. Enough of the talk here. About the ramble. I'm passionate about these conversations. So on Tesla, guys, if you're inside of the mentorship, I'm gonna speak about how Tesla it just now tapped the liquidity here on the buy side here on my 4 hour here on Tesla. So what it's kind of looking like right now is not only did we tap liquidity of the buy side here on Tesla on this 4 hour FEG, right? But we also have came right here and taken out this high point right here on Tesla. All right. And my indicator actually called it out as my premium PDRA. So we came here and took out this high point here on Tesla, and we're beginning to create a little bit of a change of character back to the downside. Now, why do I say it's a change of character? Well, we had a higher high right there. We took it out. We created a new higher high right here on Tesla. And then we failed to create a brand new higher high. We rejected, and now we actually made a movement below this higher low right there. And now we officially have created a change of character right here on Tesla. So guys, depending on how the market is moving this week, if we have a really bearish market this week, guys, I kid you not, 2 stocks that I just given you right now, I want you to actually look at the stock market this week and see and actually fact check what we're saying, right? I want you to be watching Tesla this week. That's going to be a banger of a company, but I'm going to be focusing a lot on PLTR this week, right? This is probably my bread and butter. I was looking at Hood for a setup earlier today. I just didn't see nothing crazy that I wanted to announce to you guys. So I'm going to just wait till live trading tomorrow. But my top stock definitely is going to be watching PLTR and watching AMD. And, got some runner-ups here on Tesla. But PLTR and AMD are my top plays for the week. Someone said, have I looked at the new BLSH? Let's look at it together. Bullish company. I don't know what this is, but I can promise you, I probably would not be trading this. I like making money, and this stock looks a little scary. It's looking like it needs some seasoning, right? Some smack your mama. Salt and pepper, grease, lemon pepper, something. Lemon water, rose water, just some clothing. Just, for real. This stock just isn't really too appealing, right? So boom, guys. We just went ahead and covered what are the top stocks we're looking at for the day and we're looking at for the week, right? Now, if you're somebody who's on this class right now and you're like, you know what, this class here was awesome. I learned like a lot of free game and I want to keep learning. I drop consistent videos here on YouTube. You can see videos of some of my students that, were actually down $6,000. Join my program, and now he made over $14K in 2 months. I've done videos on TradingView tutorials, how to make 10K a month, step by step for beginners, right? How to use Webull, how I made 2K in 15 minutes. I give like a lot of free game. So feel free to watch more parts of my channel. And if you're supporting here, guys, you're here on the YouTube channel, just know I have a lot coming here on YouTube, and I want to give you guys a lot more free game. I want to sit back, lower the curtains, and actually show you guys what it truly takes to make 10K a month for the stock market. Like for some people, 10K doesn't sound like much, but 10K a month for some people, that's like life-changing money, and with the right systems, guys, and the right mindset, I promise you, you're somebody here, like you're no different than me. Like you are no different than me. Like I kind of got a little bit, not an ego this week, but I had a lot of money basically locked up in crypto for a long time. I just took profit, and I was just looking at my account, and I'm just like, damn, like it's just like a blessing, man. And I want everybody to be able to feel this type of like embrace. But like whenever you're trading, guys, like the end goal isn't just to make 1K a day, 2K a day, all this stuff. It's to build a big portfolio and be able to live passively off these investments for the rest of your life. And I'm grateful to God for what he's brought me to today. And I'm just thankful that I have a platform to be able to do this for you guys and be able to give you guys free game, give you guys love, give you guys top stock plays for the week and everything like that. And all I would say is, guys, if you're on this journey right now, stay tuned. Especially if you're in a losing season right now, just know in any portion of your life, if you're in a losing season, if things are slowing down, happening at your job, your relationship, your love life, your financial history, anything, if you focus and you get one of these, a little notebook, and you truly write down on that paper, what is my why? Like, what is my why for why I'm doing every single thing I'm doing today? Like, what is the reason why I wake up and work every single day? What's the reason why I'm on this class right now? Do I want to learn about the stock market? Am I serious? What's the reason that I actually wake up and eat some food every single day? I want to live, right? So I realize, guys, when people's phone is on 1% battery, they will run fast to get a charger. What? Man, my mom one time, I never seen her run this fast in her life. Her phone's on 1%. I'm like, dang, she fast, right? And we all probably feel the same thing. But sometimes whenever our life, our career, our relationships, our spiritual health, our physical health is at 1%, we take our time to go charge it. Like we jog. We might walk to go find a charger, right? But in the stock market world, guys, this game, the market never sleeps, guys. It never sleeps. The market's closed right now, but the big banks, they're pressing their moves right now for the week. So this market, guys, is made to literally give us freedom, but you have to be able to treat it that way. All right? So that's my rant for today, guys. You got this, guys. Lock in. We're going to be live trading this week. I look forward to seeing everybody inside the mentorship tomorrow morning for live trading. Let's have a great week, guys. You have a blessed day. Take care. I'll see y'all on Monday. God bless. You have a good one. And I'll see y'all next week for the next Stock Sunday, guys. Peace out.